Ladies and gentlemen, I have always opined on this platform that politics is a very interesting game and that politics is also a very dirty game. And that's why personally, I love politics and I read a lot in politics. Yesterday, Pauline Njoroge made some interesting posts on her official Facebook page. And I didn't know that Pauline Njoroge can be that prophetic. This is what Pauline Njoroge posted, and I want you guys to pay very close attention to the message she was trying to pass to Mount Kenya leaders, especially Riagthi Gachagua. Pay very close attention. This is what Pauline Njoroge is saying. Gachagua and some UDA Mount Kenya MPs need to realize that the dialogue is a ship that has sailed and there is no stopping it. Instead of fighting it, they should expend that energy in thinking through the interest of Mount Kenya from the boundaries review to one man, one vote, one shilling, and figure out how these interests become part of the agenda of the talks. Otherwise, living in denial and telling the people of the region that they are focusing on fertilizer to sort out all our problems will just see us left behind as other communities present and push through their agendas. In short, Pauline Njoroge was telling Riagthi Gachagua that the dialogue talks between Raila Odinga and William Samoei Arap Ruto is a ship that has already sailed. There is no way Mount Kenya leaders can stop it. Because remember, Riagthi Gachagua was somewhere in the mountain and he was telling the mountain how those talks are not going to go anywhere. And of course, Pauline Njoroge is also reminding him that in case he's serious with Mount Kenya, then they should just join it and then figure out where to place the interest of Mount Kenya. And she's very specific on boundaries review. Why? Because if the constitution, if you are going to have boundaries review, Mount Kenya is going to lose several constituencies. And of course, the one man, one vote, one shilling is also something which is so dear to the hearts of the mountain, but is being pushed away. And Pauline Njoroge was so prophetic to an extent that today a meeting took place at State House. And Riagthi Gachagua was actually out of that meeting. He was locked out. For those who follow the politics of the Republic of Kenya, earlier this week, one senator from US, Senator Coons, who brokered peace deal between Raila Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, met with Raila Odinga. And indeed, I did a comprehensive analysis about that particular meeting, why the senator met with Raila Odinga. 2 days later, the senator met with William Samoei Arap Ruto at State House. And of course, yesterday, you remember Raila Odinga caused huge political storm by attacking ruthlessly the ambassador for the United States of America. And the question is, why do you think Riagthi Gachagua was left out of this meeting? What do you think was the objective of this meeting between Ruto and Senator Coons? Those are what I want us to look in this particular video. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, allow us to dive in. But before we dive in, I also want to make this particular request to you guys. For this particular video, please just give it thumbs up. That's the best way you can support the channel. If you can drop your comment, the better. And of course, I know there are those who normally send me coffee. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen, because it also goes a long way in enabling me to make more content for you guys to enjoy. You can do the same using those numbers on your screen. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for me, I love politics. And most people on this channel have always accused me of reading too much in politics. Why do you think William Samoei Arap Ruto held that meeting in the absence of Riagthi Gachagua? Because if William Ruto wanted to show or to send a message to the mountain, then Riagthi Gachagua would have been present. But who were present? William Ruto and the Cabinet Secretary for Foreign Affairs. On the other side, there was the ambassador for the US, Whitman, who was attacked by Raila Odinga yesterday, and also the senator for the Lawaya, Coons. Why do you think Riagthi Gachagua was absent? Because, first of all, why do you think this meeting was scheduled to happen on the day Riagthi Gachagua was supposed to be in Eldoret? And if you took your time and observed the activities in Eldoret, Riagthi Gachagua was so well received in Eldoret. He was received like a hero. If you ask me, that was also by design, to make Riagthi Gachagua forget about everything, to make Riagthi Gachagua happy, while in Nairobi, a meeting was taking place. First of all, let us begin by looking at why the senator and the ambassador met William Samoei Ruto. If you ask me, number one, is about the bipartisan talks. The truth of the matter is that there's a force behind the talks between Raila and Ruto. And that force is the United States of America. And just like I've severally told you on this platform, that William Ruto's government is actually a project of the US government. And there is no way the US government would want Ruto or would allow Ruto government to fail. They are not going to do that. Ruto's government must succeed. And for Ruto's government to succeed, they also understand that he must have a strong opposition. And that's why the talks are coming in, because they fear that if Raila Odinga were to be left out, then it's going to give Kenya Kwanza serious political problems. So they need William Ruto's, they need to bring Raila Odinga on board, but through some kind of arrangement, what we are calling the bipartisan talks, where Raila Odinga is going to come out with something, what we call the official office or the official opposition leader, whose office is going to be heavily funded either by the government or by the US government. So these guys talked about the progress of that particular talk. Number two, this meeting, in my view, is also about US commitments to the talks. The US the US government initiated these talks. They've now sent the senator. And the senators met Raila Odinga. The senator again met with William Ruto. But in my view, the meeting is about the commitment of the US. And I'm certain that a message from the US President Joe Biden was delivered to Ruto, just like it was delivered to Raila Odinga, what the US government wants about this talk. They are just assuring them that we are committed to these talks, and therefore we are not going to allow anything to stand on the way. The other reason why these guys met is probably to share details of the senators meeting with Raila Odinga. You see, Raila Odinga met with William Ruto in Mombasa some 2 or 3 weeks ago. Then the talks have been ongoing. At least a process has been initiated, blah, blah. But then the senator also met with Raila Odinga the other day. So this meeting, if you ask me, the senator briefed Ruto on his discussion with Raila Odinga. So if there are specific things which Raila Odinga raised with him, then he discussed them with Ruto. If there are specific issues Raila Odinga wants from Kenya Kwanza government, discussed. If there are certain fears which Raila Odinga expressed to the senator, were discussed in this meeting. So for me, I also tend to think that it was all about getting details of the meeting he had with Raila Odinga. And lastly, and probably that explains why the ambassador for the US was here, and the Minister for Foreign Affairs, Alfred Mutua, is the talk on Raila Odinga's attack on the US ambassador. Raila Odinga referred to the ambassador as wrong ambassador. And he also called her out and told her to shut up. So probably this meeting also centered about those Raila Odinga sentiments, because Raila Odinga made it appear as if the US government are actually keen on interfering with the internal affairs of the Republic of Kenya. So probably those are some of the objectives of that meeting. But why do you think Riagthi Gachagua was left out of this meeting? Why? This was a high-profile meeting. Why do you think Riagthi Gachagua was left out? For me, number one, there's the fear of sabotage. You see, when Raila and Uhuru had the handshake, it was between the two gentlemen. On Raila's side, the only person who knew about that was actually Junet Mohammed. On the other side, apart from Uhuru, I don't know any other person. But William Ruto was not aware. In fact, the other day there was this documentary where Kipchumba Murkomen was explaining that on the day of the handshake, he was actually with William Ruto at State House. In William Ruto's office. and they saw the news flash. And when he asked Ruto whether Ruto knew about the meeting, Ruto told him he didn't know anything about the meeting. But the only thing he knew was that he had actually been told casually, previously sometimes back, that mi natafuta Tinga, tutafanya kazi na yeye. So for me, sabotage. I'm trying to imagine a situation where we have Ruto on that side, Riagthi Gachagua on this side, and then on this other side, there is the ambassador and the senator. And then the ambassador and senator are pushing for these talks. And there are issues they're bringing on the table. Like, for example, let's say they are saying we want to share power, or we want certain roles to be given to the opposition leader. Do you think Riagthi Gachagua would agree to that? So there's fear that if Riagthi Gachagua were to be involved in these talks, he was going to sabotage. So probably that's why he was left out. Number two, in my view, Riagthi Gachagua was also left out as part of William Ruto's strategy to lock him out of the talks. You know, as long as Riagthi Gachagua was not present in that meeting, then definitely he will not get first-hand information. Ruto will only brief him, probably on what he wants. Why? Because they want progress. And with Riagthi Gachagua's presence, I doubt if that progress will be witnessed. Riagthi Gachagua would want any opportunity to frustrate the talks. And number three, I'm also sure that probably what happened between Moses Kuria and that US representative for trade, Catherine, might be the case here, where Riagthi Gachagua was locked out because of her foul mouth, of his foul mouth. Maybe the US ambassador or maybe the senator was not comfortable meeting with him after doing a bit of background on Riagthi Gachagua's personality. So I tend to think that maybe that could be the reason. And lastly, I also want to believe that probably this was a meeting between principals. So the senator meeting Raila as Raila and also meeting Ruto as Ruto. I'm also certain that maybe when they were meeting with Ruto, probably Alfred Mutua was somewhere along the corridors there waiting, because it's a principal meeting. I don't know what to think. What's your take? Let me know in the comment section. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.